Well, the goal now that we have the engine out is to start the cleaning process. So what we need to do is take that starter off, anything that's blocking that old blue paint. I don't know how well it shows up, but there's this light blue from the valve covers on down. It's the incorrect color blue, so sometime in the last 50 years somebody has had this motor out and repainted it the wrong color blue so that the top part is the right color. So I've got to degrease and just get all that gunk and goo and stuff, old paint, all that scraped off of there. So to do that, I'll have to remove the starter. I'll end up having to take the oil pan off, probably the manifolds on both sides. I probably will take the pulley and harmonic balancer off of this side, and probably the fuel pump. I'll try to take as few things off as possible, but you just can't get the paint in there very well with all that stuff in the way. So, and what else? I think I'll just try to do everything on the motor first, get it done before I even start on the engine bay. So let's get going. Got quite a bit of degreasing done. Got most of that oily, greasy junk off the front, and got the harmonic balancer and the front pulley off. The fuel pump goes over on that side. Starter, and uncovered the all-important engine code number, which I'd seen when I put the transmission on a while back. There it is. That doesn't prove that it's the original engine, but it's like a 95% chance as the dates match. So now I go on, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and take the oil pan off, and then I'll get it off of those motor mounts off the manifolds, and lift the back up enough to or you can put it down on some blocks on that flat part where the oil pan goes, and then get the manifolds off. So now starts the non-fun part of any restoration or any job, and that's getting all the old paint off. So I've got the oil pan off, and I'll probably use it get it off in the sandblaster, and any like brackets or pieces I've taken off that I can fit in there. But the block and the heads and all that, it's got that wrong paint on there. I've got to wire brush it or try to get it much down to bare metal as possible, so we have a nice smooth paint job. So I'll mark my spark plug wires and try to tape up that valve cover. I'll start on this side, and so I don't throw stuff on that good paint, and start trying to get it off with a wire brush, with air of course. Well, got Andy here with me this weekend, and still got the motor out of the 66, so we're going to try to double team it, and got 2 Dremels going, and we're going to try to get all the nooks and crannies of that old light blue color off the motor. First we're going to go ahead and get some paper to cover this other side so we don't get any flying chunks. We took the 66 out, so nothing came and hit the paint on it. The worst part of this thing is over here. I mean, it's just, there's some areas up in there it's going to be really hard to get, and we've got some new little things that go on our Dremel that's supposed to help reach up in there, so we're going to try to see how that does. And then also we might do some sandblasting in the cabinet for some brackets and some other stuff that we got over here on our little parts bench. Maybe the alternator bracket and the old smog bracket, the pulleys, the harmonic balancer, which is somewhere in here, and the oil pan. All that has to be blasted in the cabinet, so we'll see what we can get done. So here's the paint just got in for the engine bay. I have to order this stuff special. I can't have a hard time finding it. It's a acrylic industrial paint. It's a color is semi-flat. So usually, you know, it's semi-gloss or whatever, but this is almost flat, but just a little bit more gloss on it than flat. And so that's kind of really close match to the color they used back in the old engine bays in the 60s. So that's what I usually have used on those in the past. So not many places you can find it.
All right, so 2 hours of Dad and I sitting here with Dremels and an air gun, sanding this thing down, and we're to here. So not even close to being done. Dad got a lot of the stuff on this front part sanded down to bare metal, but still got quite a ways to go before it's anywhere close to being ready for paint. 2 hours.
On a happier note, I did get the vent cleaned for the Solstice.
Well, guys, I'm here this week at a local Cars and Coffee event, and we've got Mustangs about as far as the eye can see. Some pretty nice ones around here, and I'm just going to walk around and look at some of the cars and update you guys with some nice ones.
What did you think of the cars and coffee portion of this video? Is this something you find interesting, or would you rather watch paint dry on a cold winter day in a cave by yourself? Leave a comment down below.
Also, make sure to check us out on Instagram, where we post behind-the-scenes photos, sneak peeks, giveaways, and information on future videos. Thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in and watching this week's episode of Rebuild It. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any awesome content. Have a good one.